My therapist says, "You talk like an only child." He says that because when I tell him the story of my life, I almost forget to mention my sister, Lydia. See, when she was 15 years old, Lydia left Eau Claire, Wisconsin for the University of Minnesota. So from the time I was 10 on, I only saw her once or twice a year. And in the whirlwind of my own life, I lost track of the narrative of my sisters. What I'm left with instead are moments. 1. When she was 13 years old, Lydia read The Diary of a Young Girl by Anne Frank. And overnight, the curly-haired girl in cutoff shorts who would stomp with me through the woods till our legs were bloody is gone. In her place is a quiet girl who wears long skirts with tights, keeps her hands folded in her lap, keeps her hair plain and tied back tight. She stays up late every night, alone in her room, copying out each letter of the Midrash and Torah until she's taught herself Hebrew. I pass by her door on my way to bed, see the pages tangled around her ankles, and I realize something in my sister has changed in a way that I will never understand. 2. Lydia wanted to be a concert cellist long before she wanted to be a Jew. From the age of 5, she had the best private teachers my parents could afford. Later, she competed nationally, and most of the time she won. Her solo concert at the end of her MFA program was quiet, spare, peaceful. It would be 2 more years before she completed her formal conversion to Orthodox Judaism, but she knew that night, it doesn't matter how good you are. You can't make it as a concert cellist if you don't play on Shabbos. The evening of her last public performance, I watched my sister's face from my seat at the back of the auditorium. For the entire night, her expression is one of complete contentment. 3. I'm 4 vodka shots in, blanketed by the warmth of alcohol and klezmer music, and I slam dance like a punk rock kid at a basement show, all elbows and knees among the black coats, felt hats, and payos. We hoist my brother-in-law into the air and holler in unison, "L'chaim, l'chaim." Earlier today, my sister shaved her head and put on her sheitel, the wig that she'll wear for the rest of her life. She changed her name from Lydia to Raquela, and I watched her veiled form circle the chuppah over and over. But I don't see her now, as I whirl and clap my hands to celebrate her wedding because she's on the other side of an 8-foot-tall screen that cuts the room in half. She's dancing with the women. 4. My father's mother has just died. I'm in Houston from the funeral, shaking with fever, throwing up every half an hour. The goddamn airline lost my luggage, and when my sister hands my niece to me and returns to the others, none of it matters. My entire life, I have been fucking terrified of babies. But in this moment, I understand this is a whole new life in this world, and I'm going to be a part of that life. I'm going to pick that life up and twirl it around in the air. I'm going to bring that life presence. When I come to visit, I'm going to hold that life's hand on a walk around the block. When I hold Hinda against my chest for the first time, something indescribably deep inside of me shifts just a little. And I wonder if this feeling is anything like what happened to my sister 15 years ago. 5. August 4th, 2010, my life hits absolute rock bottom. After my first 12-step meeting, I call Lydia and ask her to please just come be with me. She's 2 days into a 2-week vacation in New York City, 8 months pregnant with 2 kids under 4 and a husband in tow, and the next day they're all at my front door. Hinda and Sruli, my nephew, grab my knees and holler, "Unca board," until I pick them up in the air and twirl them around. My brother-in-law, Yehuda, takes me for a long walk through the rose garden and tells me he's always just a phone call away and I can talk to him about absolutely anything. Later, Raquela sits with me on my porch while I smoke a cigarette and we say nothing. She puts her arm around my shoulders, and in the closeness of that comfortable silence, I start to write my sister back into the story of my life.